Hi, boys and girls. This is a recording of your Lesson 10 problem set. So we're going to go through these together so that you have a good model that you can use to complete your homework pages and your exit tickets. So number one, you actually should have this already completed because this was done in the video, in the instructional video. So we're going to skip right on down to number two. And number two says, how much liquid is in each container? So what we need to do is look where the water line is and give the measurement for that amount. So the first one is right at 3 liters. We're abbreviating with a capital L for liters. The second one is right at 6 liters. See if you can do the next one on your own. If you said 4 liters, you're correct. Excellent job. When I look at the last bottle, I do not see a water line, which tells me that there are 0 liters. It's empty. Let's move on to number 3. Number 3 says, estimate the amount of liquid in each container to the nearest 100 milliliters. So they're telling us we want to estimate, so get it as close as we can to the nearest 100 milliliters. So let's take a look at the first one. When I look at that water line, it's just above the 400 line. To me, it's much closer to 400 than it is 500. So we're going to write 400, and we can abbreviate milliliters. Remember, there's 1,000 milliliters in 1 liter. So it makes sense that these measurements are in hundreds. The next one, when I look at that line, it's much closer to 200 than it is 100. So we will write 200 milliliters on the line for this one. The next one is a little tricky because to me it looks like it's almost right in the middle. So instead of going low with my estimate, I'm going to go all the way up to 1,000. 1,000 milliliters, which is equal to a liter. See if you can do the last one on your own. And that one is just slightly closer to 700 milliliters, although that one's tough, but it's just a little bit closer to 700. Let's take a look at problem 4. Problem 4 has several parts to it. Number 4, the chart below shows the capacity of 4 barrels. Remember, capacity means how much liquid a container can hold. Barrel A is 75 liters, barrel B is 68 liters, barrel C is 96 liters, and barrel D is 52 liters. So far, we haven't had to do anything for this problem. We're just getting information. When we look at part A, now we need to do some work. And part A says, label the number line to show the capacity of each barrel. Barrel A has been done for you. So they already labeled barrel A 75 liters. So now we need to do barrel B, which is 68 liters. I notice that the 10s are marked. So halfway between that would be 65. So I'm going to count up to 66, 67, 68. And put my point right there and label it barrel B. Next, we have barrel C at 96 liters. So I'm going to find 90. I'm going to go to my line for 95, and 96 will be just past that. So there is barrel C. Barrel D is 52 liters. So I'm going to go down here to 50, 51, 52, plot my point, and label it as barrel D. Letter B says, which barrel has the greatest capacity? Greatest means the most. So I can look at my number line. I can look over here to see which one is highest on the number line. I can also look at my numbers over here and compare them to see which is the highest. Whichever way you do it, you're going to get barrel C having the greatest capacity at 96 liters. Letter C says, which barrel has the smallest capacity? I can again look at my number line and compare that, or I can look at the numbers on the chart and compare those. And either way, we should get that barrel D has the smallest capacity. Letter D. Ben buys a barrel that holds about 70 liters. Which barrel did he most likely buy? Explain why. You could have a couple of answers here. I would say barrel B, or barrel A, because they are closest to 70 liters. Now, if you were to get barrel B, you would be short. You wouldn't have quite enough capacity to hold 70 liters. So maybe barrel A is the best answer because you're sure that you would have enough for 70 liters. And letter E, use the number line to find how many more liters barrel C can hold than barrel B. How many more tells me that we're going to do which math operation? Addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. How many more means we're going to subtract, and we're looking at barrel C and barrel B. If we're subtracting, we need to start with the larger number. So we're going to take barrel C minus barrel B, which is 68 liters. So to find 96 minus 68, I'm going to come over to the number line, and I'm going to start at barrel B because that's our smaller amount, and we're at 68, which is just 2 tick marks before the 10. So what I can do is I can count by fives, but I have to make sure that I'm always going to that same tick mark, which is 2 ticks before the 5 marker. Okay, so I can count 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 26, 27, 28. So the difference is 28 more liters. There you go, boys and girls. Use this problem set as a reference and a tool as you're completing your homework papers and your exit ticket.